Hey, what's going on, New World News? Welcome into the channel. I'm filming a bunch of videos here on Monday, June the 13th, 2022. And over the last couple of days, at the end of last week through the weekend, actually a bipartisan Democrats with the support of 10 Republicans were able to push through some new gun law restrictions, which is weird because a lot of what's on this list is things that already exist in a majority of the states or in this country. So it's almost like it's nothing new, but they're still touting it as like a hooray, we won, we got new laws. Not much changing. It's along the lines of the mental health examinations, restrictions on people who can buy and ages, background checks, everything that we've kind of heard of and that we know and that, again, exists in a lot of states and a lot of this country as already in place. So I don't want to get any of what they exactly pushed through on this bill with 10 Republican lawmakers support. I think it's 10 Republican senators are on board with this and maybe more. I just want to go over the screen and show you the list right there straight from the bill, and then you can let me know. Everyone who watches me or knows me from my other channels or personally knows that I'm a big Second Amendment supporter. I do support the right for you to have a weapon and for you to protect yourself. I live in Florida, which clearly we have some of the easiest gun laws in this country behind probably Texas. And I don't believe that any of this other stuff, mental health exams is absolutely, like, I agree with that. Like, people that have mental health issues in the past or a history of them or have been diagnosed, of course they shouldn't have a weapon. They can't control themselves. You should, the age limits, how do I feel about that? Well, at 18 you can get in the military, so why should it be 21 to get a gun if you're able to be in the military and have a gun at 18? I think 18-year-olds probably aren't mature enough, but under the right supervision in the military, it makes sense to me. But out on the street, perhaps 21 is a good idea. Red flagging people with criminal backgrounds. Obviously, criminals should not have weapons. Like, all of this common sense stuff is not going to stop the casual everyday criminal or the psycho who goes out and has no past history and then all of a sudden just blows up at the whole world. So it's really a fine line to walk. Our rights should never be infringed, but there definitely has to be checks and balances. So let's go over and see what they've implemented, and then I'd like to hear from you guys in the comment section what you think about the Second Amendment. All right, from the NPR, this is the update on the bipartisan group of senators that announces the deal for the school safety and gun measures, updated last night, actually, about 24 hours ago. A bipartisan group of Senate negotiators, and this was by Kelsey Snell of NPR, by the way, so thank you, Kelsey, say they've reached a deal on the package of safety and gun-related measures narrowly focused on preventing future shootings similar to the one in Uvalde, Texas, where 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in their school. The proposal, which has not been written into legislative text, includes money to encourage states to pass and implement the so-called red flag laws to remove guns from potentially dangerous people, money for school safety and mental health resources, expanded background checks for gun purchases for people between the ages of 18 and 21, and penalties for illegal straw purchases by convicted criminals. In other words, convicted criminals, people that are not allowed to have guns or purchase them legally, but go through other routes to circumvent that, to either have someone else buy that or a dealer or somebody do some way for them to get a purchased gun that's legally purchased by someone else, but then passed on to them. So ways to, stricter penalties for that. So all for that. If you're a criminal and you're not supposed to have a gun and somebody gets you one or you circumvent it, yeah, there should be tough penalties for that. Mental and school safety resources, yes, let's help the mental health issue in this. Let's not let dangerous people have guns with convicted criminal backgrounds and violent crimes, and that this is all obvious. This is common sense, right? Like, none of this is anything different than what we already agree on. The agreement has the support of at least 20 senators who worked closely over the past several weeks to find the areas of common ground. The group includes 10 Republicans, meaning a final bill could potentially garner the 60 votes necessary to overcome a filibuster. So in other words, the Senate is 100. They have 50 Democratic senators. If they could get them all to vote, they would have the majority, because 50 over 50, but of course the vice president has the final tie-breaking vote, so they would win that. But the Republicans can filibuster it, which means basically stall it out and get it to go away and keep it at interim at bay forever. But if you get 60 votes, you bypass the filibuster. So if they could get all 50 Democrats and 10 of the Republicans, plus I think there's 2 independents. What is it, 49 to 49, and then there's 2 independents. Bernie's an independent, someone else. I think that's it. So they're always like one independent votes with the Democrats, one with the Republicans. So they're at like a 50-50 tie, and then that's why Harris gets that tie-breaking vote, something like that. The negotiators call it common sense proposal. Well, of course, this is all common sense. The group said in a statement, most importantly, our plan saves lives while also protecting the constitutional rights of law-abiding Americans. I don't disagree with this. I'm not somebody that said we need more gun laws. I'm also not somebody who didn't say that we didn't need some kind of protections to stop criminals, mental health people, and that sort of thing from getting guns. That just makes sense. The framework calls for additional vetting for potential gun buyers between the ages of 18 and 21 to include previously blocked juvenile records on criminal activity and mental health. Lawmakers say the plan would also reduce what's known as the boyfriend loophole to include dating partners and preventing convicted domestic abusers from buying a gun. Sure, that makes sense too. I'm good with that. If you have a domestic violence history, then you should not be able to own a gun. There may be some exceptions to that, or people that can work towards that later in their life of removing that, expunging it, and getting one. But the boyfriend loophole is somebody, obviously they're dating someone who can buy it and give it to their boyfriend or their fiance or whatever the case might be. The provision on so-called red flag laws would provide federal funding to encourage states to pass such laws to take guns away from people who already own them but might pose a threat to them or themselves. Taking guns away from people who haven't done anything yet is stepping over a line, and that might be a problem. But if they fail mental health or other things and they have a gun, then maybe, yeah, we could take it away. So that's the rest of the story. I'll leave it there for you guys. And I want to hear what you think about the Second Amendment and these laws and the common sense versus the stricter laws like banning AR-15s. That's where we're like, yeah, stop. We don't need to do that. That stops nothing. These kind of things I can somewhat get on board with. The rest of it, yeah, no go. But anyways, the comments belong to you, so I'll read through those, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. When you're done, make sure you hit that blue thumbs up. Turn it blue. Make it a big old like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos, because I'm going to pump out a bunch of them for you guys, because the world today has a lot going on that we need to keep up with. Thank you as always, and I'll see everyone in the next video.